All right, everyone. Welcome to the Freezin NFC North Podcast, episode 106, 2024, Week 5 review and Week 6 previews, plus those Vikings again. Vikings are 5-0, remaining undefeated. I mean, just like I predicted, absolutely.
Yeah, right.
On the other end, I said it was going to be 0-5. But hey, welcome in, Shelby, as we get started. Where can everyone find you?
Shelby Tweten on Instagram and Twitter X, and the Skull Queen on TikTok.
Always good stuff, especially when you're winning. So, hey, welcome back.
Makes it easier.
It does. And welcome in. We have a brand new, Bears fan helping us out here. Does some great work in podcasting. So, Andy from the Bears Den podcast, where can everyone find you as we get started?
We are on Twitch, Twitter, YouTube, Facebook, TikTok, and Instagram. And all three of us reside in Charlotte, North Carolina, ironically.
Oh, nice. Yes. Got to spike that football in Carolina there. So
yes.
So welcome. Definitely like and subscribe, especially for all of us Bears stuff, as we are trending up. And someone who is always trending up. And seventh letter, where can everyone find you?
Seventh letter 4 on Twitter X, same OG on Instagram and Facebook.
On top of the NFC North, and late to the party, but always here. And the Packer fans, just have to be, have to make their grand entrance. And Miles, welcome to the show.
You are all welcome.
Where can everyone find you as we get started, Miles?
Good evening, y'all. Appreciate you tolerating my tardiness. Catch me every Monday evening, 9:30 p.m. on the Packers Weekly Podcast.
I try not to because it's on Packers stuff, but hey, because it's you, I'll watch. And
we have fun.
We do. We have fun.
And it's all fair stuff, right? Like my thing is we try not to get too in our feels about things. Like let's break down some football and see what's really going on.
I don't know about you, Andy, but week 11, if the Bears don't win, I'm going to be in my feels.
I'm going to be really upset if we get swept again by the Packers this year.
Don't say it. It's not happening.
Breathe it into existence.
We have to beat them once this year to make the playoffs. If not more than once.
Playoffs. Oh, that's where we're. Oh, okay.
Well, let's get started. Then. We'll get to our Bears soon, Andy. But obviously the team of the hour so far, the Vikings, and okay, you and the Chiefs are right there. All right, but let's not have delusions of grandeur yet. But the Vikings pick on Rodgers in the 23-17 win in London in week 5. Did you just end Aaron Rodgers' career and then hand out some helmet stickers?
Wasn't it beautiful? I know all y'all had to enjoy it a little bit. Maybe not Miles so much.
No, I enjoy it. I'm cool with it. Rodgers is a dick. Sorry if I don't know if going fan.
Oh no, we go ham on that. He is a dick. I had so much. I was literally giggling by the second quarter, watching him just shaking his head. And like I said last week, the biggest thing I wanted us to do is put pressure on him, get him in his head. The fact that he's only had 5 pick sixes in his career is insane. And I know he in the conference after was I like the guy with the long hair. Can't even know his name, but whatever. Are we surprised? I don't love the second half. I think that we kind of did the same thing that we've been doing. Losing Aaron Jones was crucial. That changed the entire momentum of the game, which makes me a little nervous. He's supposedly on week to week, so there's a high chance he'll be back for the Lions. But we're also getting Hawk back, so that should, seventh letter, I don't want to hear shit. Because I know it's fucking coming. But yeah, I think that we are so dominant in the first quarter. We come out so dominant. And if we can play an entire game, like that, I think that we'll be unstoppable. But the fact that now, these last 2 weeks, we've actually seen like adversity and have been able to still win games, I think that that's giving us more respect. We have to figure out a new scheme if we're not going to have that run game. But it fucked up my sleep schedule because I didn't go to sleep until the game was done. And the anxiety of the end of the game definitely made it hard for me to go to sleep. But it was great. I think that the fact that their coach got fired after our game is hilarious to me. I don't think a lot of people are surprised, but it just was so brutal. The second we gave Rodgers a little too much time to throw those like quick passes, that's where we kind of got lost for a second. But as long as Aaron Jones comes back, I'm not too worried about it. 5-0, can't complain.
Well, I don't know about you, Andy. As a Bears fan, obviously I'm not a Rodgers fan, but also I wanted to see the Vikings lose. I thought they were going to lose. I was the only one on this panel last week that thought the Vikings were going to lose, and I still need to find my clip of me saying the Vikings were going to be 0-5. I'll find that. I'll post that.
I have my one of Trevor. I'm locked and loaded.
You're ready to go on that one. But Andy, I don't know about you as a Bears fan. Like, were you hoping the Vikings lose or rooting against Rodgers, or where were you on that?
I would absolutely root against Rodgers every time he played.
I swear.
I hated him in Green Bay. I still hate him.
So what if the Jets played the Packers? I mean,
then I go for the Packers.
That's a tough one.
I can't like you said. I can't like that dude, yo. I can't.
Yeah,
he's very unlikable.
Well, I'm about to show my age because I have hated Green Bay ever since Tim Harris took that cheap shot on Jim McMahon and threw him down, and I can't forget, broke his elbow and ended our season. We were 14-2 that year, and we could have been the number one seed and maybe made it to the Super Bowl. So I've hated that team ever since that play. I've hated that team. I considered them dirty,
rightfully so.
Yeah,
and I consider them the same way to this day. So
what year was that? What year was that?
I just showed my age. That was after the Super Bowl. It would have been 86, 87. We could have maybe made it back. He threw him down after the play was clearly over. He threw him down and broke his elbow and ended our year.
That was a different game back then too, man. There was a lot of that went on. It was a different game back then.
Yeah, it was. But ever since that play, I've hated Green Bay. That's my number one most hated team in Dallas.
Yeah, fair enough. Fair enough.
So, Miles, I was going to say that. So, obviously, the Bears is your number one rival, right? So, when you go with teams, I mean, are you, I don't know, rooting against the Vikings or the Lions more in the division?
I think I always find myself rooting against the Vikings more, and it's hard not to like respect what the Vikings are doing right now. So it's just, I'm in a really just like conflicted place. But the Lions, I mean, the Lions just been so bad for the majority of my life, where it's just it's almost like if they forgot
about them.
Yeah, it's you just don't, when you don't have those competitive matchups, very often it's just not a rivalry, right? It's just more of a annual. Now, hey, the last few years things have changed. I'm not denying anything right now, but I can't even like be mad at the Lions. It's like if they win one, it's like, yeah, you know what, it's about time. But I'm almost rooting for the division. I mean, can I point out that all teams have a winning record? Isn't that that's pretty cool?
We talked about it, obviously this being the best division. I incorrectly said that maybe the Vikings would be the last and just be sucking it up so far, but obviously they are not. I mean, it's something about this defense, and obviously the question is going to keep being, can they sustain it? And I think it probably comes at a good time this week. Coming up, they have the bye, but they've shown that they can win in a lot of different ways. Because Sam Darnold didn't have a good game, did he, Shelby?
No, and I think that hit on his ribs where he was down for a little bit, I think that really roughed him up. Especially, I was talking about last week with his knee too. I think that all of these little moments, like the Jones thing, the fact that we have a bye. Before I was like stressed about having a bye this early. All of us have had such early byes. But now I'm like, okay, I think that this will kind of bring him back because, yeah, he looked like he was hurt. He looked like he wasn't following through completely and not having that balance in the run game. And it's against one of the best secondaries. So they were on Jefferson's ass. Like, they were hugging him. And then we didn't even hear about Naylor. Like, Naylor's been such a great, wide receiver 3, and he wasn't even, like, mentioned at all. Like, there was just no real pass game. The fact that we somehow got the win, it was all thanks to the defense, personally.
Well, I mean, when you have like hopefully, this is weird to say, when you have a championship caliber team, and I'm not saying the Vikings are there yet.
It's 5 weeks. 5 weeks.
When you have a championship caliber team, you have to have
defense
good offense,
wins
good defense.
Championships.
It's just really hard to put that in the same sentence with the Vikings. But hey, if they're winning, they're winning. Against who's put on their schedule. That's all you can do. Let's see. Aaron's injury is concerning offense. Yeah, so that's going to be interesting kind of going forward. Obviously, that is for another week to talk about. But, speaking of, a team roughing up another, hey, it happened like I thought it was going to be. It happened, right? Bears cruise at home. 36-10 victory in Week 5 versus the Panthers. Let's hand out some helmet stickers. Andy, I'm going to let you do that, and then I'm going to give some Caleb Williams stats as he continues to ascend into superstardom.
Okay, before you start, before you start, that shit look like USC. The Panthers don't got no defense. He was literally standing there tall. It was pitch and catch. They couldn't get no pass. He stood there. He stood there. He stood there. That don't count. That game don't count. It don't count. If you
gotta win with who's on the schedule, so
I love how you led with that. I love how you set that up for yourself.
He stood right, no pass rush. He just pitch and catch all day. DJ Moore happy all of a sudden. Oh, I got the ball twice. Man.
Oh yeah, and they're poking fun at each other in the media. It is it's delightful. Andy, how about just hand out some helmet stickers? Obviously Caleb is right there, but who else do you kind of give some kudos for this win this week against a tough Panthers team?
Tough. DJ Moore for sure. And Shane Waldron, I thought he called his best game of the season by far. DeAndre Swift was really, really good. And my favorite player on defense is Andrew Billings. I think he's been our best player this year, and it seems like he was in the backfield a lot, and he was penetrating a lot. He was a disruptor a lot. So I love him. Of course, everybody's talking about Jaquan Brisker laying out Tommy Tremble. So, there's a lot of stickers to go around for the helmets, but I'm really glad that we beat them because I can go outside in public again because, like I said, I live here in Charlotte. I got many, many friends and coworkers that are Panthers fans, so this is a huge win for me personally. So I can go outside again because we talk a lot of trash here at work and with my friends. So I remind them of the trade every single day if I can.
Man, whether you won that game or not, y'all clearly won that trade. There's no question about it.
Yeah.
Obviously you look at the biggest thing we talk about, the defense, our secondary, being a strength, but that interior defensive line and just all around. I mean, we're really getting some players to really step up on that team and some, lower round draft picks that are really starting to hit. And Ryan Poles, he is, obviously it's hard to argue that he, the opposite here, but he is one of the best Bears general managers, that we've seen in a long time, right? I mean, just the players in the draft that are starting to really hit, and he shied away from Jalen Carter, right? And guess who is outplaying Jalen Carter this year?
Dexter is by far. Look at the stats side by side.
Dexter.
Dexter by far.
So, I mean, when you look at this team, I mean, we are exactly where I thought we'd be. We're really starting to grow. And here we go with Caleb Williams, right? And so, like I said, everyone is on that certain quarterback from Washington. Everyone's saying, Jaden Daniels is, he's good. He's legit, right? But you look at his stats. Obviously, he through week 3. He was ascending, right? Look at week 4 and 5. Take a look, and he is going down. A certain quarterback in Chicago, obviously.
Wait, who's going down?
Jaden Daniels. Look at his stats.
Like along for the ride.
Look at his stats, and his QBR, his rating is going down. Week 4 and 5. Obviously, hey, they're doing well, right? But they're going down. Take a look at it. Take a look.
He played against the defense.
Please be so for real right now, Andy.
I am being for real. Look at this.
Yeah, serious.
September 29th versus the Rams, 106.6 rating. Versus the Panthers, 126.2 rating. He is ascending. 304 yards, 2 touchdowns, 0 interceptions. Last 2 games, 0 interceptions. This is really, you see the growth of a quarterback. You see him hitting the checkdowns, see him hitting some of the longer passes as well. And just the evolution of a young quarterback. And he's proving that he belongs, and he is proving that he has continued to learn and grow in this, offense and in this league. And so you may say, hey, it's not against the best defenses, but hey, these are NFL caliber players, and this is exactly what we needed from a Bears standpoint to just continue to see his growth
against a depleted Rams secondary and the Panthers.
Well,
let me stop hating. He played
no,
better.
hey, no, bring it on. That's all right. That's all right. We can handle it.
Sincere question, though. Sincere question.
Level of competition matters. You know what I'm saying?
That's definitely correct. And
okay.
What is Caleb Williams doing right now that Justin Fields hasn't done?
Bring it to him.
Give me something.
He's winning. He's not throwing interceptions. He's seeing the whole field. That's the biggest thing. Is he's seeing the whole field. And I love Justin Fields. But Justin Fields, he would only see part of the field. And Andy, correct me if I, wrong here, but seeing part of the field and then running. Right. Caleb is looking to obviously all his progressions, and I love on the hot mic that his center was calling him out. Right. You got that banter back and forth. But Caleb Williams, he is strong enough as an individual, as a player, to take that and just, back and forth. You see this in the media right now, too, how DJ Williams is kind of poking fun at him. And, basically Caleb is calling him sassy. This is the kind of confidence that we have not seen in Chicago from a quarterback. And just this young, what he's doing, 2 300-yard passing games already this season. It took Jordan Love till what is that, like year 4 to even get any. So I am all in on this Caleb Williams.
The king
train.
of context is what you are, sir.
Yes,
right.
Sir, I am.
It's like the easiest schedule.
Oh my God, yeah.
Hey,
oh man,
we're getting there. We're getting there. We're ascending. Andy,
don't you guys literally have the easiest schedule in the league?
Hey, a win's a win.
Who
Andy
has the hardest? Just saying.
Well,
Vikings have played real teams.
Vikings can crash. I mean, Andy, do you have this optimism that I have, or are you a little bit,
more down to earth?
Hold back a little bit.
I'm sorry.
I think the most impressive thing that I see with Caleb Williams is what he does when he breaks the huddle, and he checks, and he looks at that defense, and he checks in or out of a play. And he's doing that as a rookie in his 5th game already. As a rookie, Justin Fields did not do that. He ran the play that he was assigned to run. And yesterday at lunch, I was going to bring that up during my podcast. And I looked at Justin Fields' first 5 games. And I looked at Caleb Williams' first 5 games as rookies. And it's not even close. The stats are not even close. Caleb outweighs.
The surrounding cast is also pretty different.
Thank you.
Yeah, that matters for sure.
Yeah, when you're looking at the coverage, and then you see some Keenan Allen over there, and a top 10 receiver over there, and a DJ Moore over there, and a Swift behind me. a whole.
And all Justin Fields ever saw was the opposite jersey.
Some Mooney.
The Bears' offensive line is still terrible. Obviously, they've had a better game this last game, but they are who they are.
Still terrible, and they're better than they were with Justin Fields by a considerable amount.
Yes, don't even sit there and lie. You know they are.
I wouldn't say considerable. They're better, but there's still issues, and we're having injuries as well, right, Andy?
We killed Justin Fields in 2022. He almost died in Detroit. Yo,
it was like he was running for his life, and y'all were bragging about what a great running back he was too.
Word, because he had to.
But Caleb is a complete package. I mean, Andy talked about that. Obviously, the pre-snap reads, post-snap reads, and just be able to react to everything that's around him and just kind of slow the game down. And it's only going to get better. I mean, you look at the trends. For him, it's going up. Obviously, there's going to continue to be some rookie mistakes. That first play, it was almost a pick six. You kind of look at that, and that was, so. You look at that, but hey, it got down 7-0, but they responded and Caleb responded, and I love what I'm seeing so far. And no one's going to rain on my parade tonight, or probably ever, until week 11. Hopefully not. So
until week 11, of course. Yeah, I'm glad that you recognize that.
You don't play anyone in the division until week 11. It's crazy.
Week 11.
That's our match.
It's setting up perfectly.
Coasting.
Exactly
I wouldn't say coasting, but I would say revving up and really getting going.
Yeah, but that's the thing though, is they're playing like these weak ass people, and you're like, oh, Caleb Williams is good, and then they're gonna come against the Lions,
and we're gonna beat
the Packers, and then it's gonna be like, oh shit, he's actually only been playing against.
Andy, who almost beat the Lions twice last year. Do you recall that?
Almost
What is this?
First game, we beat them for 56 minutes. Then we decided to go in the locker room for the last 4 and lost that game. In the second game, we whipped them in Soldier Field. But we handled them in Detroit, but for some reason, we quit playing with 4 minutes left. I remember that one well. We got like 5 interceptions off of golf, and we somehow still lost that game. But
yikes.
We handled them in both games last year.
Yeah. So, and that was without Caleb Williams, and now we have him. Like I said, he's a future Hall of Famer, Caleb Williams. All set for that.
Justin Fields always had good games against us, though. He was tough against us. He was a running quarterback. We didn't have a secondary, so we always gotta use our linebackers the wrong way. This year it's different. We got corners now, so. Yeah,
we'll see. We'll see about that. Well, let's get to the Packers game, and I was told last week that this Rams team was terrible, and it took every ounce of effort that the Packers needed to hold on for 24-19 win. Miles, hand out some helmet stickers if there are.
Miles, what I say last week. It happened, didn't it? They know each other.
Exactly. It honestly played out the way I thought it would. My projection was 24-10. It was hanging out at 24-13 for a while. I thought that would hold, and it didn't. No, I mean, I didn't think it was going to be an easy win. The Rams are banged up, but yeah, like it's still McVay. It's still Stafford. Like they still have NFL athletes on the field. So it wasn't going to be an easy game, and I don't think the Packers are firing on all cylinders yet either. So I'm glad they got out with the win. As far as helmet stickers go, Tucker Kraft on offense, boy, I hope y'all are ready for that, man. I know that you guys have had some good tight ends, except for the Bears. They think Cole Kmet's a good tight end. You guys think that all sorts of players are good, and it's so funny. But,
hey, I did actually have Tucker Kraft in a couple of my fantasy leagues, and he definitely helped me out. So we'll go with that. Yes.
Yeah, 2 touchdowns, 88 yards, a hell of a performance out of the tight end. Big boy, good luck stopping him. I'm excited to have him on our side. And then, of course, Xavier McKinney with 5 interceptions in 5 games, just balling, complete ball hawk. Love to see it. One of the best free agent additions the Packers have ever had at this point. So I like a lot of things that are happening for the Packers. They're definitely not perfect. A lot of mistakes happening, but there's signs of a championship team in there, right? So I'm I'm very, very excited about it. I said signs.
Whoa.
I didn't say
Right.
this is a full-fledged championship team yet, but they're doing
okay.
things that championship teams do, and I'm very excited about that.
Well, I mean, is that like the seventh letter? That had to be one of the worst interceptions I've ever seen with Jordan Love through, right? I mean,
Did you catch Kirk Bankert's breakdown of that? I reposted it. That's why I asked. Otherwise, you probably
I missed that. What was the breakdown?
All right, so he did a really nice film breakdown on this because I was with you on this. I was like, that was just what happened. But when Kirk Bankert did the breakdown, he showed you how it was a sprint out, and if there was one guy basically that missed his block, and if that one guy catches his block, Jordan Love's got that for a touchdown on the other side of the field. There was a receiver running wide open, and he never had a chance to throw it to him. But if he had even a chance to set up, it was a touchdown. So laugh if you will. But that one had a very strong chance of going the opposite direction of what happened. So
did you see that pass to Jaden Reed? the bomb?
I gotta be honest, guys. I grew up a big Brett Favre fan. Seeing that just like oh, I don't know if I cut out there. It was a little bit nostalgic watching that because I mean he throws that up, you're just like, oh no. And then Jaden Reed comes down with it. You're like, wow, this is what it was like to watch Favre throw to those guys. So, you don't want to see that all the time, but I'm glad it ended well,
Well, Miles, someone else, Joseph here, throwing shade at you. So,
witness protection plan.
Witness protection plan. No. I'm protecting myself from AI, man.
The what did you say? It's a bright future.
Yeah, it's a bright future. Got to keep the shades on. Haven't you seen Jordan Love throw the football? My goodness.
I don't know. I mean, it doesn't matter who's throwing it. If Romeo Doubs is going to be suspended. I mean, what's the deal with that? Obviously, I think he's coming back this week. But what was the deal with him being suspended? And
the reason is conduct detrimental to the team. He missed 2 days of practice. Not happy, quote unquote, not happy with his role. And I think it's easy to look at targets and snaps and, yards and catches and all that. And you're like, well, he's one of the most involved receivers on the offense. But what I kind of looked a little closer into, he's typically a Z receiver. So he's going to be play side a lot of times, and he's not going to have, deeper opportunities in general. And when he does, he's a true clear out player. He's not actually intended to be an option. Whereas Christian Watson typically takes on the X role. And while that's the backside outside receiver, that role usually has a lot more downfield opportunities because the play side can clear certain things out that open up the backside deep. So I think what happened, and again, this is a 24-year-old man. I'll put my hand up and say I was far from perfect as a 24-year-old young man. Certainly not a polished professional, but I think he just got a little upset or a little bit maybe ahead of himself, expecting like, hey, I'll take some of those snaps because Christian's out, and that wasn't the case. He was there Wednesday when the game plan goes in, and then Thursday, Fridays when he misses. So, and the way the team described it would make a lot of sense and align with that. It's something that's easy to fix, something that's not expected to be, put his future in jeopardy with the team or anything like that. And all those things would align. I think it's just a dude that got emotional and, made a mistake in how he responded to it. But I mean, honestly, what he's really at risk of, and you see it with Jaden Reed emerging, he's at risk of making this team's decision in a year or two a lot easier. It's like they've got a tough decision at who they're going to re-sign as receiver between all four of them, being drafted in 2 years. If you're going to go off and act like that, you're just going to make the decision easier to move on without you, and he's a great receiver, but at this point, I don't think he's irreplaceable by any means.
Nah, he's good. I'll take him. I like him the best out of all receivers. I mean, Jaden Reed is just fast. I just found out that the Lions were going to draft him.
Oh yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, he's a Michigan State dude. I'm sure they probably had their eye on him early.
Yeah.
No, and I'm not. That's nothing against Romeo Doubs. I mean, coming into the season, I thought he would end up being the guy that gets the most targets out of all the receivers. Whether he ends up having the most yards or catches is a little bit different. But it feels like his chemistry with Jordan Love has been growing quite a bit. There was a lot of good plays they made in training camp. And so, yeah, for this to happen just seemed really, really odd. I mean, it was strange. It's not really warranted, especially by the numbers, right? By the numbers, he's one of the most involved receivers on the offense. He may not be the most, but man, you were without QB1 for 2 games. Like that's gotta, I mean, those games just don't even count if you're trying to talk about how involved you are in the offense. So it just seems strange to me. And at the end of the day, I kind of chalk it up to just kind of a young man being a little bit immature and maybe a little bit over passionate about his involvement in the offense. And it's not surprising. These are passionate dudes. They have to be in order to be this good. So I don't know. We'll see. I hope it all goes away. I would love to see him, correct course and become, receiver 1 in the offense if he can. But worst case scenario, again, he makes the decision easy for the front office.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting kind of just to see how that plays out, especially if you're saying that they've got championship caliber team. And I mean, we'll see about that. But yeah, you have to actually have your players on the field to get there. And
hey, the ones who were on the field won the game, didn't they? Did all right.
I mean, I was told the Rams were terrible. So
well, the Panthers are pretty terrible too. So I mean, but we'll just see how the rest of your season goes.
The Bears did actually beat the Rams by 6 points, and the Packers only beat the Rams by 5. Thus,
he is really
Andy, Bears are better than Packers, right?
Yes.
Don't hurt yourself, man. You are going to pull a muscle.
I swear to God. Shit, I beat him, but I beat him by 6 too, so like that. You went the overtime with it.
Well, hey, this is kind of your week to just kind of chill. I mean, Shelby, are you going to watch any games this week? And what are you hoping the Vikings kind of gain from the bye week this week?
Yeah, I'll still be watching, especially that Lions-Cowboys game. I'm excited to watch that one. Like I said,
rooting for the Lions in that one, by the way.
What? Oh,
yeah.
For the Lions.
Definitely follow Seventh Letter on Twitter too. I think that should be entertaining.
Yeah, no, especially because it's a rematch of last year, but we'll get into that, I'm sure. My main thing is the injuries. Obviously, I just want everyone to rest up. I need Darnold to come back. I need Jones to come back. But we also have, like I said, we have Hawkinson to come back. My thing with the bye is always like losing that momentum. So I just want to make sure that everybody comes back with as much fire as they left with. Obviously, coming into the Lions game after a bye being 5-0 is going to be nice, but it is the Lions. It'd be easy if we were coming into, like, let's say the Jaguars or something. That'd be a nice, like, transfer game. But no, it's against the Lions, so I just hope that we are ready and that fire is still lit under us and everybody's healthy.
Yeah, I mean, you look at the schedule. I mean, really, it's tough to really kind of know exactly how things are going to happen. I think at the Rams might be a little bit tougher than we think, especially depending on the receivers that are back for the Rams
and
at
that's
that point.
Thursday night football.
Okay. Oh, and weird things happen on Thursday, but it's going to be an interesting. They have a pretty good path to the playoffs right now. If you look at it, and I'm saying that hoping that that jinxes you, but you look at that now. This is a lot different of a season than I thought.
I know.
It would be.
Now that I remember when we were looking at it preseason, we were like, oh, I don't know. And now after that Lions game, it looks like a nice little coast for a while.
Jesus Christ, you ain't lying. Atlanta's a little tough.
Yeah. Atlanta's.
Seattle should be better. They should get their defensive line back.
Yeah, I think that once we get to Chicago, I think Arizona, but Atlanta for sure, because it's obviously a Kirk game, and it's going to be in Minnesota, and he's been playing great. And then obviously being in Soldier Field, I always get worried about. I'm also very worried about Seattle. We play like shit there. But in the next 5, it looks pretty good. Just saying.
Yeah.
After the Lions game, I am worried about the Lions.
Yeah, I think you're right about the momentum. Obviously, if you're going to Dubai and you're maybe 2-3 or whatever, sometimes it's good to have that break. But obviously, it's good to get healthy. But the way you've been playing, the way you've been winning games, it's going to be interesting to see kind of coming out if that continues. And obviously, the question is going to be: are the Vikings still real? Miles, what do you think? Are the Vikings for real?
Yeah, I think they are. I
mean,
the teams that they've beat, and I get it, you've been lost in the Bears schedule and you guys get those rose-colored glasses on. But the teams that the Vikings have beat, they're good teams. I was most shocked by the Texans. Coming into the season, I really thought the Texans were going to be one of the toughest teams in the AFC. And I think they've not been quite as good as expected so far. They'll probably be one of those that puts it together a little bit more as the season goes on.
They only have one loss though, so.
But the way the Vikings handled them,
I agree.
Y'all handled them, so that's where I'm just like, I think the Vikings are real. Now, I wonder how much you guys can handle though. If Darnold goes down for any extended period of time, or Jones, how much can you withstand before too much is too much?
And that's a lot. Is every season injuries play such a part. One person goes down and the whole thing could fall apart. So as long as
this is not what we were saying at the beginning of the year. If Darnold goes down, we are screwed.
I know, right?
We thought
if Darnold's playing, we're screwed.
We thought JJ McCarthy would be there until he got hurt in July. So
tell you what, this is, obviously you gotta take winning seasons as it is, but I don't see JJ McCarthy doing all that well. But I mean, this could be one season wonder, because it's basically rental with Darnold. But I'm not a JJ McCarthy believer. So but hey, if you have that defense and you still have Brian Flores, I mean, we'll see.
Oh, they ain't give him no head coaching job. He'll be like the next Spagnuolo. He'll never coach again.
I mean, honestly, a lot of those DCs do so much better as DCs.
Yeah.
I mean, Dan Quinn, elite defensive coordinator, and just as a head coach, he's not doing bad. Obviously, he got the Falcons to the Super Bowl, and the Commanders look good now. But it just seems like more often than not, the guys that are great DCs are better at DC than going up to head coach.
I absolutely agree with that. Except my guy, I knew you were going to bring up Eberflus.
There's a few, and I don't know. The verdict's still out on him. We'll see.
Andy, are you a believer in the Flus?
I'm still very much on the fence with him.
You guys got a lot of ball left to play, man.
We do.
I'm very much on the fence with him. I mean, some of the timeouts he's used and the game plans we've seen him use. I mean, I know you're the defensive coordinator, you're the head coach, but aren't you overseeing some of this stuff we saw at the beginning of the year with our game plans and our blocking schemes? And I'm on the fence with him. I mean, it looks a lot better now, but it didn't at the beginning of the season, and it looked bad for how many games last year when we were got off to an 0-4 start. I mean, I think he's, like you guys said, he might be better off as a defensive coordinator. But time will tell. I mean, he's got the talent this year, so he's got to prove it. There should be no excuse this year not to improve off of 7 wins that we had last year.
Well, going into this season, I mean, to me, how close we were in 3 of those games, that's why I had so much optimism. And now with defensive players doing well, we're going to be without Brisker this week. But when you look at Caleb Williams and what he's continued to do, and now even on the other side of the ball, with the Jaguars, Trevor Lawrence, he's approaching bust category. Now I'm a little bit worried about the running game of the Jaguars, but what do you see as some of the keys, Andy, for the Bears to win in London versus the Jaguars this week?
Getting pressure on Trevor Lawrence, keeping our quarterback clean, stopping the Jaguars' run game, because we have been getting gashed against the run. We've been giving up over 100 yards, I think, the last 3 or 4 games. We need to get that stopped. And we need to run the ball. I like it best when we run the ball from under center. I like us better under center versus shotgun. I think we're more productive under center. We need to set up our running game so our play action becomes much more effective. I don't think our play action is quite as effective, and nobody is scared of it if we can't run the ball. Like when you saw the Tennessee game, that was a complete disaster. We were lucky to win that one. We couldn't run the ball, and they didn't respect our play action at all because they knew we weren't going to run it. They knew we couldn't run it. And now, a couple of weeks later, people are respecting our run game because we're actually running the ball. And our play action is that much more effective.
Yeah, I mean, with what Swift has been doing, and that's helpful. But even Rashawn Johnson, how he's running hard. Obviously, they gave him the ball down near the goal line, and I think just having that 1-2 punch is huge. But I mean, as far as the offensive coordinator, being able to switch up some of the plays and just not be so predictable, and that's kind of what I worried about even last year, just how predictable the Bears were. Even the first few games, it just seemed like how predictable they were.
Yes. I mean, I think it's a bad thing if, like, me and my friends can sit and watch a Bears game and pretty much call out what we're about to run. Like, that's not a good thing when like an armchair quarterback like we are just can predict what we're about to run. That's not a good thing. So I would prefer us to be about 50-50. 50% under center and 50% shotgun, because we can't, for whatever reason, we cannot run out of the gun. We cannot get that blocked up. We can run a lot better out of the under the center.
So go ahead and predict. Do you think the Bears are going to win versus the Jaguars this week?
Yes, I think we will win. Jaguars have one of the worst passing defenses in the league. I mean, their offense is average. Etienne does scare me, and Trevor Lawrence, if he gets hot, he could be a big problem. But like you said, he's approaching bust status more than anything else. If he's expected to be a franchise quarterback, he needs to start stacking wins together in division titles and playoff appearances. And quite frankly, he's not done that at all. So I think we win. I think maybe like 24-10, 24-14, 27-10, somewhere in there. Hopefully we can take a knee at the end of the game like we did the Panthers.
2-score game.
Hey, and Etienne is questionable. I think with the shoulder, he'll probably end up playing. But even Tank Bigsby was playing well, and so you look at as far as how we've done against the run. Obviously that does scare me as well. I'm going to go ahead and I'm picking the Bears. I'm actually going to say it's going to be a 31-13 game for the Bears this week. 31-13. We're gonna keep it rolling. Hey, Shelby, are you picking the Bears this week?
I think you guys have to win if you want anyone to take you even a little bit seriously. But again, I would hope with how you guys have played the last 2 weeks, I feel like anyone can win against them right now. So
against the
Jaguars.
Okay. All right.
I don't know about 31-10 or whatever the fuck.
31-13. 31-13.
Okay, I blacked out the second you said 31. I was like, oh shit. Okay.
We did score quite a bit of points last week, 36. So we're trending upwards. I mean,
but they're better than the Panthers.
Correct. That's why we've got 5 less points.
Oh.
Simple math. Come on. Come on.
Gotcha.
Miles, are you on the Bears train as well this week?
No, I'm not. And there's a very specific reason. One, I always have a hard time picking the Bears. There's just got to be an overwhelming case for me to be able to actually pick you guys anyway. But the Jaguars' second home is like London. They play in London all the time.
Yeah, they blew the Bills out last year in London.
And we've all seen it. Going overseas is a leveler. Like that thing. That game is totally unpredictable. All bets off when 2 teams are playing in London or wherever else over there. So yeah, I think that this is one where the Jags will feel a little bit more comfortable than the Bears, and we'll actually pull this one out. I think it'll be an ugly game, like a 27-21 Jags win.
Okay. All right. Hey, you man of principle. That's right. Just a green and yellow principle, but that's all right.
I'm consistent,
Yeah. Seventh letter. Are you on my Caleb train?
Not on the Caleb train. Now, I think that you guys start off kind of fast on the Jaguars, but the Jaguars kind of, since I don't really trust y'all, because I think they'll figure out the offense a little bit, so they'll slow you down in the second half and make it close at the end. But I think y'all still, the defense will have a late pick and y'all win. So I'm thinking like 2017, 23-17, something like that.
Hey, the Bears defense is legit, Andy, right? This is
y'all got good defense.
Yeah.
Can't stop the run for shit, but y'all got they opportunistic, they create turnovers. So I would love to have a defense like that creates turnovers. Like y'all
I thought you had a really good secondary though. I thought you were there.
Well, I mean, like honestly, all you can really ask, since you can't touch nobody, is just be in the picture. You know what I'm saying? Like that's all you can really ask for.
We're the first in interceptions, so.
Yeah, I mean, like turnovers. We're not like a turnover machine. We kind of beat people up real bad. That's what we do.
That's
what we do. We beat people up real bad. They get blew out the next week after they play us because they so hurt. And
y'all are the reason that the Rams are trash now.
After they play us, they don't play right the next week. You notice that?
So a couple players that I'm worried about for the Jaguars. Obviously, if Brisker's out, that secondary might be tested a little bit. So Christian Kirk has just been a solid player, right? And also Brian Thomas Jr.
Yeah,
I think he's
don't even start sleeping on Brian Thomas Jr. No, that man's a difference maker.
Yeah, so those two players scare me a little bit. I'm not sure if Evan Engram's going to play. Gabe Davis doesn't scare me at all. But so it'll be interesting to see how it all shakes out. But I just think the Bears are really starting to come on right when we need to. So hey, just like I said.
NC ain't gonna fumble, so don't worry about it. He always fumbles all the time, like Aaron Jones, like that, always fumbling.
Speaking of a team that sometimes fumbles against this other team, the Detroit Lions versus the Cowboys. I mean, they had it within the grasp.
I'll finish this for you. We are going to beat the shit out of the Cowboys.
Yes,
I promise.
Do it. Finish them.
Are you home or away?
We in Dallas. Right? They don't never let us play them in Detroit no more. After Calvin got 300 yards receiving on them that time. We can't bring this back. This is murder. We can't bring them back here. So we are going to Dallas and we're going to beat doo-doo down their leg. We remember they cheated us.
Yeah.
Too many times.
And Dallas really, I mean, they're a little bit hurt, a little bit banged up. They're not as explosive on the offense. CD's going to play, right?
Yeah. He can play. I don't care about him. I don't got your boy recovering him now. You know what I'm saying? Your boy fell on that 90-yard touchdown on him last year. Like, he's not playing. CeeDee Lamb won't have 200 yards on us this year. We got something for him.
And Amon-Ra is going to be full strength, right?
Everybody's going to be back. Everybody's going to be back. Everybody's going to be back. We're going to play. We're going to play well. The Dallas Cowboys, Dak get a lot of shit. He gets a lot of shit, but, I like Dak, he plays with a lot of, pride. You know what I'm saying? Like
he's a good leader. I think he's got good leadership qualities. Yeah. He's just not consistent.
He's a bum, but he plays with a lot of pride.
He's a bum, but
he's a stat stuffer. He's a stat stuffer. You know what I'm saying? Like he throws for a lot of yards, but he throws interceptions a lot too. So
get down by 3 scores and then try to make it up.
Right.
I think it's gonna be hard. Not do so much pass interference.
What they say, Kirk Cousins with a Jordan dip. That's what they called
it. Yep.
Mr. 500 yards. Kirk Cousins.
Yes, that's what Dak did.
Beautiful to see. I enjoyed it. Kirktober is real.
Yeah,
it is the first player in. This is. I mean, obviously not. NFC North right now.
3 franchises. Run it.
Well, no. I thought he's the first player in NFL history to throw 250 yards in the first and second half of a game.
Oh, I didn't know that, but he's also the first to do a 500-yard game in 3 franchises.
And look, Darnell Mooney is good, ain't he?
He is. Yeah. When you have a good offensive coordinator and
no, quarterback. Say it.
Say it.
Say it.
When you have a decent quarterback. Andy, were you on the Justin Fields train, or were you kind of like ready to be done with him?
I was ready to be done with him.
Yeah, he's honest. Yes.
Yeah, I think if you got a chance to upgrade and you truly think somebody's an upgrade, you got to go for an upgrade. That's what your job is as a GM and the coaching staff and scouts. So if they feel that Caleb Williams' ceiling is higher than Justin Fields, you got to make the move. And I would have done it too as well.
Yeah,
Justin Fields got on my nerves on Monday.
I was a scout. And
got on my nerves, yo. He the reason why they lost.
Yeah, I would have done it.
He got on my nerves, yo.
I think you always got an upgrade when an upgrade is there. Or at least you got explored. That's your job.
Yeah.
So, Andy, do you think the Lions are going to beat the Cowboys?
Yes, I hate the Cowboys. But no, I do think the Lions will win. I think they're legit. I think they're for real. I think they're going to beat them. And I hope they beat them. I hope they beat them badly. I hope they embarrass them, honestly. But yeah, I think they will beat them.
I think the Lions are for real. You're saying they have a better defense, seventh letter, but this over-under 52.5. How crazy is that?
Yeah. They score. The Cowboys score.
Yeah, they score.
They're gonna have to because they defense. They're gonna have to.
Yeah.
They're gonna pull everything out. You know what I'm saying? But they ain't gonna be one. If we can make you one dimensional, you can't really beat us. I mean, unless you're like, if you're killing us with the pass, and we gotta like give up a linebacker or something, then you might get run on us. Like Kenneth, that dude from the Seahawks, man, he was getting on my fucking. I'm like, ain't nobody run on us like that in 2 years. Kenneth Walker was killing me. Jesus Christ.
And I don't think Ezekiel Elliott's going to run all over you this week.
He still run hard, though. Still run hard.
The Cowboys are second to last in rush yards per game. So
I was just trying to look at, who they got. I mean,
pretty good. They ran it 30 times against the Steelers. So they tried.
Rico Dowdle. Wow.
He's been there for a while.
Yeah. I mean, Miles, do you think the Lions are going to beat the Cowboys pretty big here too, or?
Yeah, and I live in the DFW market, so I grew up here, so I've been around Jerry World since the the glory days with the triplets and everything, and now I've seen the fall of the empire. And it's really funny because Cowboys fans are super easy to hate because of how delusional they are every season, and they are not delusional anymore. Like Cowboys fans have just been beaten into the ground by the same old problems every year for 30 years. And it's
depleted.
I think that there's a lot more fractures in the foundation than maybe the outside world can see with the Cowboys. I don't think their season is going to finish well. So, yeah, I definitely think the Lions have a much better team and just organization at this point, which is a weird thing to say between the Lions and the Cowboys. But, I mean, seriously, it's just from the top, Jerry down, it is just totally broken. So, yeah, I think that that's going to slowly fall apart as the season goes on. And the Lions very well may just start that or continue to accelerate it.
Yeah. And Shelby, did you say you're going with Lions too?
I'm the most scared about the Lions. I think I don't necessarily care who wins. I don't hate the Cowboys like a lot of people do. My thing is more like, would I rather have them come into us after a loss or come into us after a win? Because they could lose and then be on some vengeance and like completely fuck our shit up. Or they could be on a high from winning and then think they're unstoppable and then get stopped. My main focus is just the energy that's coming into the next game. I think that I'm just excited. I think it's going to be a good game. And that's what I like to see. But I don't necessarily care who wins between the two. I think that it's probably going to be the Lions, though.
I think it's going to be the Lions, too. I think it's going to be like something like 28-13. And, really, when you look at the point, those 13 points for the Cowboys, I think it's probably going to be late. right? I think, the Lions are going to jump out to the lead and just hold on. But I mean, when you look at overall, I mean, you're right. It is kind of like when you look at Cowboys, like a lot of times they have delusions of grandeur, thinking, okay, we are going to the Super Bowl. This is our year. And it's just not. There's just so many question marks on the offense. And it's so crazy, to even hear in the offseason, Jerry Jones saying we're all in. What was it this year? Like, how many times did he say the all in? It was like 5 times.
Saying it and then never did anything.
Yeah.
Ezekiel Elliott was their signing. That was their all in move.
The Cowboys tend to they
Cowboys
get bland back this week. I think.
What'd you say, Andy?
I said the Cowboys are so tight against the cap.
That's because they've been managing it like a child.
When you have all this money wrapped up in Lamb and now Prescott, I mean, Micah Parsons, they could sign him, but they would not be able to sign anybody else. Everybody else would have to be minimal contracts.
Don't forget about Diggs. They pay him too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I mean, they just are so tight against the cap.
Yeah.
And none of the players seem very happy. Like the situation with CD going into camp, like none of that seems like
even
it really
that where he
well.
Everyone was reading his lips.
Yeah.
And he was like, people think he wasn't saying subpar, but either way, he was yelling at them and being like ass fuck and dead ass. So you know that there was something said in there that he was not happy.
There was some body language. There was
for sure.
So 7th letter, fantasy wise, I should start Jameson Williams then, right?
I think we're gonna try to pound him out. To be honest.
Okay, so Montgomery game maybe.
Yeah, our MVP. Thanks again.
Hey, you're welcome. I mean, he still hasn't gotten any much, so you haven't gotten a Super Bowl yet.
I love that dude, man. I love that dude. Yo. My boy 235 now. God damn.
That's a big.
I'd be happy if you get the Super Bowl, you win it. I'd be happy for Monty. I liked him. I don't know about you, Andy, but I was a Monty fan. Even being a Hawkeye and him being from Iowa State, I still hope that he does well. I mean, him and Justin Fields, I hope they do well, even though they're former Bears.
Yeah, I love Montgomery. I wish we wouldn't have let him go. I mean, in hindsight, we could have gotten him cheaper than we could have gotten Swift. And maybe invested more into our offensive line, which I think is the weakness on this team, but I guess it is what it is. Yeah, I love Montgomery, and I love Justin Fields. I thought he gave us everything he had. I still think his ceiling could be higher than what we saw in Chicago, but I think the guy we got has a higher ceiling. I think we did the right thing by going for him.
We do. Obviously, Caleb Williams has really quarterback-wise, Caleb Williams, I think, has the highest ceiling in this division. I mean, obviously, someone else may, argue a different angle here. But Miles, go ahead and talk about that other guy that you think has the higher ceiling and maybe the keys for the Packers versus the Cardinals this week.
Yeah. I mean, I look for the Packers offense to continue to look a little bit better each week. They should be cleaning up mistakes each week. They should be getting a little bit more of a groove each week. And one thing I pointed out on our podcast is every week you have an extra game of film to analyze, right? So that helps offenses for sure, having an extra game to look at a defense to sort of understand how they would respond to different formations and looks. So that's going to help good offenses look better as they go throughout the season, and it's definitely going to make defenses' jobs harder. In this one, I want to see the Packers take a step forward, but you have to dance with the one that brought you, right? Like, you can't turn your back on the run game. You got to keep it honest, keep the Cardinals honest. And the Cardinals, I don't think, are a pushover. I know they're 2-3, but that's a talented offense, man. Like, they can put up points if you don't keep them in check. Kyler Murray ripping off a 50-yard run to start the game last week. It's just, there's a lot of firepower in that offense. So you got to shorten the game, I think, if you're the Packers, and your best defense is possessing the ball on offense, essentially. Not that we don't have the defense to go against the Cardinals. I just don't think where they're at in the Hafley system yet, they're ready to really stop like a Kyler Murray and Harrison Jr. Yeah, that's I mean, even Connor's a good running back. Like and their offensive line is kind of banged up, but they've got a good offensive line. Like the offense really checks out. So I think it'll be a tough game, but it's at Lambeau, so that's a difference maker. They always play better at Lambeau under LaFleur. So I think the Packers will win, but I think it'll be a tough game. It'll probably still be kind of sloppy. I hope it doesn't develop into a shootout because I don't think that the offense is ready to win a shootout yet. But I do think that they could win like a 35-30 kind of game against the Cardinals here.
So that's interesting. Going back to the Lions game, it was 20-13. I don't know what you remember from that seventh letter, but you really, I mean, it was more of a passing game, and Kyler Murray spread it around. What he had, Harrison, had 60 some yards. What did he have here? But they really spread around it, and the running game didn't get going. I mean, obviously the Lions have a solid run defense, don't they?
Very solid.
I mean, comparatively, when you look at the Packers, I mean, do they have a decent run defense?
No, true Packers form. The run defense is still struggling. It's a tradition as true as anything else. But not to sound too much like a homer, I just think that their problems right now are different than their problems have been in the past. You're 5 games into a new system. You've got to give that what it takes. Being 5 games in was never going to be when you have the system perfected. And the D line is getting penetration. They're getting upfield, but they're doing it in a way that can be taken advantage of. So there's been some traps that have worked really well on them. And I think that as the season goes on, they'll start to figure some of that out and close up some of those gaps and not be as quick to rush past the play, which is what's happening a lot, it seems like. But yeah, I mean, their work's cut out for them this week. It's going to be tough,
Yeah, they tough. Like they play hard, and that's a good ass coach. Don't get it fucked up. And they can run the ball on anybody. If you can run the ball, you can run the ball, you can keep any game close. And I think that's what makes them kind of dangerous. And then you got Kyler, who this little monkey.
He's a beast, man.
He just
zipping around and
like a bad kid, like a little baby.
Literally.
This is the commentary that everyone needs. Everyone needs it.
This is like one of those Packers games. Like the Packers have notoriously forever played down the competition.
Yeah,
and this game is going to be closer than it has to be, just like ours, because we played down the competition too.
So, Miles, you're picking the Packers to win?
I am. We don't play down to competition as much at Lambeau. We do that a lot more on the road. So I'm thinking this being at Lambeau helps this game a lot more. If this was in Arizona, I'd feel a lot worse about it. But yeah, definitely picking the Packers to win. We'll call it 35-30.
Wow. Okay. Wow. Seventh letter, what are your thoughts? Do you think the Packers win this game?
Yeah, I do. I just think it's going to be closer than it has to be, like 24-21. Like, what I'm saying? Like they miss it. They draw. The Cardinals get the ball at the end and they draw it on the field, but fourth and out, downs play. They just turn it over and not able to get to the field goal. So I think it's gonna be like 24-21, something close. Like it don't have to be.
Xavier McKinney's the hero again, 6 for 6.
Okay, Andy, what are your thoughts?
If it was in Arizona, like he said, I would really, really be worried about it. It's at Lambeau. I feel like the Packers can probably squeak this one out, but not by a lot, because Arizona is, I think, a pretty good team, especially offensively with Murray and Harrison and Connor and Trey McBride, the tight end, who no one really talks about, but he's really good.
Yeah.
I can see them winning like maybe 28-24 or something like that, 27-24, somewhere in there.
Yeah, this
But I
5.
do think Green Bay will win.
This -5 for the Packers is nuts to me right now. But
Yeah.
I mean, on paper they should beat the shit out of the Cardinals. On paper, you know what I'm saying? Like franchise, like the team. You know what I'm saying? They should beat them pretty handily, but it's just.
Well, and I don't know how good the Cardinals defense is. Not that they're bad, but like their D line's not great. And I mean, the Packers are running the ball well consistently, and
and y'all gonna be able to run on them too, because we were able to kind of run on them, so you'll be able to run.
Yeah, I mean, if the best version of the Packers show up, I mean, it could be a 2 or 3 score game, but I just don't feel like the best version of the Packers is there yet.
Wow. Okay, you're wait till week 11 for that, or what?
Yeah, you know, we got to ramp up, warm up, make sure we don't get ahead of ourselves, make sure we can deliver that whooping appropriately.
All right. What about you, Shelby?
I think that they have it. I think that we are the best division in the league right now.
Here.
Yeah, it's pretty amazing. Like, really believing that all of us are going to win the games. Like, everyone's talking about it, too. The last couple of years we've been doing the podcast, it's kind of like, but now it's like there's no denying we have the best win percentage out of all of the other divisions. Like, we've won the most games to loss. So it's great to watch. Obviously, fuck the Packers, but I think that they're going to win.
So, you know me, I'm a Packer hater. You look at this though, the Cardinals, they beat 49ers. They beat them 24-3. That was at and Santa Clara at the 49ers. You know, obviously, without I don't know. I mean, when you look at this, 49ers supposed to be tough. They're struggling a little bit. Obviously, Washington destroyed them. The Detroit game, 20-13, and this is with Murray. The Detroit game, Murray passed for 207 yards. They beat San Fran with Murray passing for 195 yards. So, like, they don't need to pass to win. But when you look at it, Marvin Harrison, I mean, he's due for a game. Due for just just another breakout game here. And I just think that the Packers, where they're at defensively, I just think the Cardinals are going to win here. The Cardinals are going to win this game, and it's going to be like 27-21 Cardinals. I just, Murray, I don't know if they're going to be able to stop him with everything that he brings on the table. And hey, maybe in Lambeau, but when you look at the Packers, they're just not quite there. Are they able to cover the tight end? We'll see. I mean, Trey McBride could be a key there.
Safeties are probably the highlight of the team right now. So
okay, all right. So, well, hey, I've been wrong. I've been picking against the Vikings, so I obviously could be wrong again. But you know what?
You've been wrong.
Not completely.
A lot this year. This isn't your best year on predictions.
Except for the ascendancy of Caleb Williams as a superstar.
A lot of ball game left, man. A lot of ball game.
It's his first year. I mean, comparing to Justin Fields, obviously, like Andy said earlier in the podcast, it's night and day just what he's able to do to process. Even night and day when you look at Jordan Love and what he's been able to process. Obviously Jordan Love has the tools, right? And a lot of Packer fans were saying, well, it was Jordan Love on one leg or whatever. Then don't have him out there. If you're going to put that little caveat in there, don't have him out there. Obviously, Jordan Love has the talent, but I'm taking my guy Caleb over him and over a certain quarterback in Washington, Jaden Daniels. We're going to see it in a little bit here.
Statement.
Yeah.
And that man making what, $40 million this year?
Who's that?
Jordan Love.
I know.
And Jordan Love's first season as a starter was better than any season ever by a quarterback in Bears history.
You know why, right?
I know why. Do you know why?
Well, I know why. Right. Yeah, it's because a certain team who has a certain head coach who perfectly coiffed hair, who I certainly think can be one of the best head coaches in the NFL. Good old Matt LaFleur, a little bit of a man crush on Matt LaFleur. Without Matt LaFleur, I just don't think Jordan Love would be much of anything. But
Andy, you got to get sharper on your trolls. If you're going to give credit to a coach, you got to do the right coach. And while Matt LaFleur's eyebrows and hair are very distracting, I get it.
Yes, he's very distracting.
Yeah, not the coach to credit here. Do you know who it is?
Who should we be?
It is the man, the legend, Tom Clements, quarterback coach.
Okay. The whisperer. He had a good connection with Aaron Rodgers, correct?
And Brett Favre.
Okay,
he stretches back to Favre days.
So they brought him back, right?
They all play the same. Throw off their back foot, throw jumping in the air. They all play alike. It looked exactly the same.
Same offensive, philosophy. Yeah, I mean,
Brett Favre had a real strong arm. Aaron Rodgers had a strong arm and was incredibly accurate. Jordan Love is kind of like, he's a little bit more. He's faster than them. He can run a little more. He when he get hot, it's scary. It's scary.
Not scared. I'm not scared.
He's got a little bit of Favre and Rodgers in it.
Yeah. He good. And like I always say, like it's the teams he beat. He beat good teams last year. So it's something there. Because it don't matter the coach, the player beats the teams. You know what I'm saying? He beat the Chiefs, the Lions, back to back. Trevor was in here talking about we're going to lose the next 3. They won all 3 of them and lost to the Giants.
I got to talk to Trev, man. Like, we can't be talking like that.
Yeah. Well, hey, at least, I mean, we're not going to be talking about the Vikings with the win. They're going to stay undefeated. We know that. But at least when we talk about other teams in the division this week, and hopefully all our teams win except for the Packers. But hey, we are the best division, and it's going to be interesting once we start to see all of us play each other and just how it's going to shake out. I'm hoping that we at least get 3 of the teams into the playoffs from the division. I think that'd
be pretty cool.
Yeah, it would.
It's possible.
I still think it's going to be Vikings Lions NFC Championship. It's possible. A lot of people have been saying
these Vikings fans are going out of control.
Name another NFC team. Don't fucking say the Bears.
Can't say the Eagles. Can't say the Eagles. Can't say the 49ers.
I think the Packers will definitely have something to say about the NFC Championship.
It's got, like I said, the representative in the NFC for the Super Bowl this year coming out the division. I said that last year.
Said that last year.
I think that's a good projection. Yes.
Yeah.
And I think we all are thinking different things on what that team will be. So.
Probably.
I think there's only one of us, though, that doesn't really have realistic hopes of getting to that.
I think one of us is delusional. One of us. But, I think you can make it to the playoffs, so that's good.
That's true.
Hey, this is the year to kind of continue to build that, up. Obviously we are – I think we're still an offensive line away, and obviously Caleb more experience away. But making the playoffs, I'll take that. With this team and where we've been. So I'm excited for this week. I'm excited, continue to be excited for the rest of the season. Obviously glad to have you, Andy, on here. Obviously repping the Bears with me. And so where can everyone find you as we're closing out tonight?
You can find me on the Bears Den Podcast. We are on Twitch, Twitter, YouTube, Facebook, TikTok, and Instagram.
All right. Definitely like and subscribe. Let's get some more Bears dubs for all of us. And I'm sure you've got some great banter on there as well. And obviously, always enjoy Miles, you coming on with your Packers shade here, and always have some great takes. And where can everyone find you as we close out?
Yeah, absolutely. YouTube, Packers Talk, YouTube channel. We're on the Pack Weekly podcast every Monday night at 9:30, streaming live to talk some Packers football. Come hang out. We accept trash talkers from the division rivals as well. So always welcome. But and then always talking some trash on Twitter. So
always good stuff. Yeah, especially game day. But yeah, definitely get some good intel from the Packers. And lots of great stuff. Like, subscribe, follow that as well. And sorry, Seventh Letter. You're not going to get the last billing tonight. Sorry.
Oh.
So I think it's a little bit changed.
It's all right.
What? So 7th letter, where can we find you?
You'll find me 7th letter 4 on Twitter X, same OG on Instagram and Facebook, and I get my spot back 2 weeks.
I've been waiting for my time to shine. So.
It's coming. Well, maybe I'm the last one here.
Ain't nobody come to see you, Otis.
Well, you can find me on Twitter, NFL Outdated, on YouTube, NFL Outdated. You can find us on Freezin #4 pod on the good old TikTok. And obviously, we got a team that is still undefeated in the division. And so we'll give you the props. Shelby, where can everyone find you as we close out?
Shelby Tweten, Instagram, Twitter, and the Skull Queen on TikTok.
Lots of great stuff. I mean, just very entertaining. Definitely retweeting this. It's going to be, hopefully for you, a positive season and just a couple games, hopefully that you will have a couple L's. But hey,
no, it's been great. It's been great. It's been fun watching all of us.
Well, definitely like and subscribe and, follow us everywhere on all socials and, catch us every week here, same place, same time, and lots of great banter and lots of great excitement for each of our teams here on the Freezin 4 NFC North podcast. So once again, this has been episode 106, week 5 review, week 6 previews, lots of stuff coming this week. Woo! And bear down for everybody. And obviously have a good week. We'll see you next week.
See you next week, 7th letter.
You get the bear down at the end.
No, bear